Hello and welcome to a rewatch of the 2001 Sweet 16, the 20th anniversary, if you can believe it, of USC's big win over Kentucky. I am Jordan Moore, voice of the Trojans now. Back then, I was just a senior in high school ready to go to USC, watching all these guys star. And we've got four of the stars
Sweet 16 about to get
for this broadcast. Sam Clancy, the big fella, joins us. Say hello, Sam.
Hey.
We got David Blu, who was the leading scorer of this game, just lit the Wildcats up. What's going on, David?
Is this not a Final Four?
Hey, all good. It's weird to see it's David Bluthenthal out there playing.
That's right. That's right. Your name's gotten shorter since then. We got the point guard, Brandon Granville. Yeah. What's going on, BG?
I'm good. What's going on?
And we got the high flyer, Jeff Trepagnier. What's going on, Jeff?
Nothing much. How y'all doing?
All right, so we're set the scene, guys, as we go into this game. You guys obviously were playing great basketball coming into this. Came off that huge win over Boston College. And what was it like building up to this Kentucky game?
With their starting five intact from a year ago, with wins.
We were just kind of on a roll at this point, right? This was all of our first times being in the tournament, and so we were just kind of playing it by ear. I remember walking around Philadelphia that whole week because we didn't come back. We were in New York, went straight to Philadelphia, so we had a whole week of practice and hanging out in Philadelphia. Me and Jeff going to get cheesecakes and walking through the city. I remember vividly. End up staying at the Ritz-Carlton after that whole fiasco with Coach Bibby and the administration. So that turned out to be a good thing. But we were ready to go, man. We were confident. We had played well all year, and we were ready to get down to business.
We was locked in, man. We was locked in. Like we all. Go ahead, Sam.
No, I was gonna say, if you remember, we were struggling before we got to the tournament. We were struggling. And we won, I think, Washington State, and it kind of propelled us. Then we got that first game, and then everybody was just clicking. And you could see that it was just everybody. Because really what happened was we put our defenses together. We finally figured out our defense, and we put it together how we was going to do it, and it was messing up everybody, and nobody knew.
Nobody knew,
Nobody
I think
knew.
we also zone was crazy.
We also play with a chip on our shoulder because it was like UCLA, Duke, and Kentucky, and USC, and Bibby was just like, nobody thinks we're supposed to be here. And so we were like, all right, well, we're going to show who's supposed to be here.
Yeah, that was like the 20th anniversary or something for the Kentucky-Duke game from back in the day with Christian Laettner. And so that was supposed to be the matchup. That's what the NCAA did. So we were there to ruin the party.
Yep. Ruin the party. Remember, like BG said, I remember this is my first time in New York City because we got to stay out there. So we walked around New York City, and we had the Fox Sports following us, the cameras. And we were in the subway. And everybody in the subway's like, y'all gonna get smacked by Kentucky. Tajon Prince gonna kill y'all. I ain't gonna do nothing. And we out there like, we like, nah, it ain't gonna be that type of party. But everybody blasting us in New York. And it was like, we come from LA. So we get on New York and everybody immediately knows who we are. We wearing our SC gear. Yeah. Everybody, I'm talking about everybody.
Knock it down then, young fella. I probably had like 4 the whole game.
I wanted to mention the first play. I know Dave was struggling the first game, but I liked it because Bibby went to Dave on the post the first play. That's what I like. He struggled the game before.
I like how aggressive we were at the offensive rebounds. We were like attacking the offensive rebounds.
I remember we used to bet for the offensive rebounds who could get the most.
We had a lot of competition amongst each other, like healthy competition. You know what I'm saying? It made us better.
I think that was what was unique about this team. We were talking about David going into the post was that, and you see Brian shooting the 3 right here, is that our bigs could go outside, and then Jeff and David were so big and athletic that we could post them against smaller guys. So we did a lot of inverting and things like that. I was really the only guy that played one position. So that's kind of what made us unique with, as opposed to some of the traditional lineups that we end up playing.
Also, this particular year, we had other players that could play multiple positions coming off the bench. We were very versatile.
We were.
If you just watch
really all around,
possessions, we're scrambling everywhere. We don't really know. We're just so athletic that we can cover up for each other because we're scrambling on the defense last possession. We didn't know what we were doing, but we made up for it with our athleticism.
And we were in great shape. Bibby used to always say, you can't talk and run at the same time unless you're in great shape. So we were good at talking and moving and not getting tired from all that running.
Yeah, I watched this and couldn't figure out what defense you guys were in. Billy Packer keeps calling it a 2-3, but it's not a 2-3.
It was a matchup. It was a matchup zone.
It started like a 1-2. I think it started like this, like a 1-2-2. And then what happened is we're all athletic, so we can guard anybody on the floor. Okay, give me that.
You know what happened?
We can guard anybody on the floor. We can guard anybody on the floor. So
yeah, during the year, I think we were switching up defense. We were playing a matchup. We were playing 2-3. And to be honest, we kind of just made this defense up. I think our philosophy was, we went through a bunch of stuff with Coach Dominguez, who was our defensive coach, but our philosophy was trying to keep the smalls, especially me, outside, and keep Sam and Brian inside. David, that's a lot.
Nice, Scotty.
Keep David, and keep Sam and Brian inside as much as possible. But other than that, we
I remember in practice, Scalabrini. For me, it was he put it together, and his basketball IQ was really off the charts. He put it together because I remember telling him like, you know what, just make sure you guarding somebody.
That was it.
Sometimes you guarding the space. He's like, man, just guard somebody, and then we just like, all right, as long as you got somebody, you're not wrong.
We good.
That's so simple.
If we can switch, we switch. Yeah, if I could stay outside, if I couldn't switch off to somebody else inside, then I went inside for a minute and we figured it out from there.
And we communicated too.
Yeah, that was it. But we had been together. We had been together for 3 years at this point. So at that time, we kind of understood each other a lot better than most teams.
Hey, that's crazy because we really had them confused.
Yeah, I'm watching like, what kind of defense is this?
We didn't even know from possession to possession.
Look, fighting for the rebounds. You got to get that double-digit rebounds.
What do you guys think of Kentucky coming in? Did you know any of these guys? So what do you think of them?
Yeah, well, me and Jeff know Tayshaun. I had played with Tayshaun, and we had played several tournaments growing up together. I don't know if David was around then, but I know Tayshaun. I still see Tayshaun. I saw Tayshaun a couple of months ago, actually, kind of randomly here in LA. So, we had stayed together in the same hotel and traveled together. So I knew him. We
did Jordan camp together.
Yeah, exactly. So I knew of the other players, but I knew Tayshaun very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I knew Keith Bowman. He's a Midwest guy, so he went to the Masters. We used to have battles like in high school and stuff. They gave us actually our only loss in my senior year in high school. But anyways,
hey, Brandon, Tayshaun Prince gave us our only loss our senior year at Westchester.
In California. I don't think it was our only loss, but it was maybe with you. I think we lost a couple times in
before Vegas. I got there.
Yeah. But yeah, he sure did.
But we knew Kentucky was a good team, but we knew we could beat them too. Like we just knew we could beat them.
I think a lot of it our confidence came from Coach Bibby. Now to think about it, like we was just completely disrespecting Saul Smith. We was just like, man, he can't beat us. He can't, And in the whole year, Coach Bibby was saying Final Four the whole year, and he had wore a Final Four hat.
Yeah.
We didn't think nothing of it until we got to the Elite Eight. And he's like, you see, I've been wearing this hat all year. We're like, oh, man, So it's kind of like a psychological thing. And he's like, in every game we went into, no matter who we was playing, we was ready. We was like, he had us like, we was going to win that game. No matter
he definitely had us prepared. He had us prepared for sure.
And we thought we was going to win,
Yep.
Coach Bibby always played these mind games with us. So it was, even though we didn't know it, it was preparing us for anything that came our way during the game, during, whatever it was. It was always a battle of the wits. It was a push and pull, challenging us, breaking us down to build us back up. And so by the time we got to the tournament, he had our confidence really high. And, it really didn't matter who we played at that point. It was all about, what we were going to do.
Anyone looking at the scoreboard right now, realizing you're up 18-6, 6 minutes?
But we knew we came in the game with so much confidence, and we already was like, first of all, it's already the East Coast bias, so we already like, oh, they don't even know about us. They don't even know that we're good, But we do, So we already had, so it wasn't really a shock to us that we was doing like that.
Plus, we had done it every other game in this tournament. We had gotten out to big lead, so that was kind of our MO.
And we knew teams couldn't handle our pressure. I wanted to say one thing.
Good defense.
You see the shoes. I wanted to say one thing about the shoes we're wearing.
Right.
Nike came to us. We wanted those shoes. There was Vince Carter's. I forgot the name of
The Shocks.
The
Shocks.
The Boeing.
Yeah,
right? And we were like, we want these shoes. We just won 2 games, and Nike was like, no, you can't get these shoes unless you get to the Sweet 16. They was like, no. And the coach came to us, our assistant coach came to us, like, the Nike just said, no, we can't get these shoes. So we had extra motivation, to beat everybody, because now you guys get whatever you want, but we had to earn that. We had to earn that.
You know what? I think
that was crazy.
But those were out. Those were out in the regular season because Stanford had them. Some other teams had them, and they wouldn't give them to us.
They weren't messing with us. Nope.
Yeah, they wasn't messing with us about getting those shoes. Because I had loved them.
You can't get them until you go to Sweet 16.
Remember earlier that year, I played in the black ones. Remember that caused a big problem. Remember like Coach Miller. Because none of the shoes would make me. They didn't feel right. And then Coach Miller, he wasn't too pleased about it. So, you know how that went.
I already know. But yeah, we had to earn those shoes. We had to earn those shoes.
So Scalabrini is the one guy who's not here. Let me talk about Scalabrini, and obviously he's become such a unique character. You guys probably knew him long before everybody else does, but he plays great in this game.
I'll take this one. He was my roommate. For 3 years. We called him Big Red. He was my roommate. This is before he was the White Mamba and everything. But even from day one, he was just, for one, he was just a really hard worker. And you could see like his basketball IQ. He made up for everything with his hard work and just his fundamentals. He was so fundamentally sound. And even guarding him one-on-one, I mean, he was just tough. And
he did have the moves, though. He had his footwork. His
footwork was crazy. His IQ was crazy. And this year he struggled a lot during the season. He struggled a lot during this season and everything. But I was glad to see that, he made the career that he ended up having, And, I mean, he was a great roommate. We were close. I haven't spoken with him in a while, but, I got all love for him all the same. We couldn't have done this without him.
Great ball handler for a big man. And he was a thick body, so he could really move. He could make space in the paint, real well when he needed to.
I think probably his biggest attribute for us, at least, was that he was so unselfish. He never cared about stats. He never cared about scoring.
Yeah.
He came into, I think, his senior year as second-team All-American. Like Sam said, he didn't really live up to that. Sam really blossomed as our leading scorer and kind of go-to guy, but he didn't care. He was always trying to make the right play, always do the right thing for the team to try to get us to win more basketball games. Remember that play?
That play was called D curl right there.
Yeah, remember that
curl. And he was an offensive mastermind. He used to draw up some plays, and even we would be confused, and then we'd get out there and they would work. We'd be like, oh, I don't know how that works.
We would take the other team's best play. Remember?
Yeah, every week.
We would take their best play every week.
Every week. If a play
and we would make it our play.
If we scored up that play, we was gonna run it the next.
And when we call it their name, whatever team.
Yeah, we sure did. Wow.
Like Oklahoma. Oklahoma State, we have an Oklahoma play next week. Like what?
Yeah. Wow.
This thing's like a lot of it.
That's good.
We had like 80 plays.
At least.
Yeah, we did. I found recently the book of plays that was laminated. Remember, we had laminated books of plays, and it's like 2 inches thick with like 75 pages of plays.
Wow.
Each play had like 7 options.
Y'all didn't know
we used to have the same play for every year, but change the name. So come imagine, we used to be like last year's 3. Last year's 3.
That was me. Y'all couldn't remember the name.
Last year's 3, yeah.
What are you talking about? They changed all the names. Like, why are you confusing us? Look at that Pac-10 record too, and we was balling. It was tough.
Well, the thing about this season, right? You guys lost, I believe, 6 games in the league, and they were all to the top 3 teams. That was kind of why you were slept on a little bit, because before we started this thing, you were talking about Arizona was really good that year. UCLA is in this region with you. Stanford was really good back then.
Yeah.
So
Oregon was good.
League was good.
Yep.
I remember we were
back
like,
then was different.
we were.
How many teams made it?
Well, it's 8-1. I think 5 teams made it. One team lost.
And like,
the other 3 were in the Sweet. Other 4 were.
Four of us in the Sweet 16.
I think UCLA lost to Duke, and we were praying that they
right
won
after
because
us.
we would have played them.
Yeah,
you know, we
go
would
to
have
the
played
Final
them. We
Four.
knew we were going to smack them in the Final Four. We just knew it. I was praying they was going to win. I was praying like
they played right after. They played right after.
No, we would have played them. We would have played them in the Elite Eight.
In the Elite
Eight to go to the Final Four.
Played them in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, in the Elite Eight. Yep.
Saul Smith.
It's 31-10 and a timeout. I mean, are you guys acknowledging that in the timeout? Are you looking around?
Nah.
Going, what's going on here? You just head down.
Yeah,
0-0.
We just played Boston College, and we were up like 20 points too, which they came back. So we knew in the tournament, like, yo, you know, it's a lot of game left. So you really can't relax any second.
Bibby was able to get a few minutes of him sitting down, clear out 1-4, right around Smith. Whoa.
So Brandon,
I see you. Okay,
clear it out then.
You remember ISO BG? You know we ain't drawing
that. That shit out of here.
ISO BG.
So they never. The thing about this team was Bibby never took you guys out.
Never.
I mean, it's the first thing I ever noticed about this team was like, unless you got in foul trouble, and you guys did because you played the whole game, somebody was going to get in foul trouble every game. But that, you know, it basically never took you out. You played 40 minutes.
The year before that, our starting 5 averaged like 38 minutes per game out of the 40.
Yeah, that's for real. Sophomore year, I think I was averaging 40.8 minutes per game at one point.
Yeah.
We had like 2 overtime games. It was crazy. I was like leading the country.
Yep.
The thing about Bibby, I remember, and all these guys could vouch for this. We would be like dead tired. We'd be like, Bibby, let me get a sub. He'd be like, nah.
Like, nope.
Rest on D. Rest on D. He'd be like, what? Rest on D?
Rest on D?
You just got it for. He'd be like, rest on D. Nah, let's take a break in the game.
No, you're not coming out now. It wasn't coming out.
You know? I'll never forget these moments.
He'll turn around and go sit down on you when you ask to come out. Like,
yeah.
Like he didn't even see you.
He didn't see you. He'd be like,
yeah, whatever. Where's my water?
But that was the thing about it. We had an unorthodox, because even with Coach Bibby, he wasn't really a college coach. He was, you know, he's
a pro. He was a
pro coach, yeah. And then he didn't have our first year was, I think he already had 1 year under his belt, a full season under his belt. So everything was on the fly with him too. We get to the tournament. It's his first time there. It's our first time. So everybody was just, you know, really in the moment.
Ooh.
Rip.
But Skylar Brandon did a great job on Tayshaun Prince and making him go right, because he couldn't go right at the top, and all he had to do was send him right, and he couldn't perform.
There's another example. Good job by Prince. Fitch comes out with it ahead to Prince. And Clancy.
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
Oh, you guys are in front of me by a few seconds. Yeah.
Like, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay.
Oh.
We'll be right back.
A lot of blue in the stands.
You know he made a shot. If he got the face, if Dave got the face like that, you know he made a shot.
Hey, what'd you go? What'd you go? 6 for 6 this game? What'd you get?
No, I think I missed a 3. Like 6 for 7.
6 for 7.
I remember one very important thing that we did over everybody. Hey, I don't know if it was before this game or before the tournament when Bibby said we all had to give something up, and we all gave something up.
What'd you give up?
I gave up candy, but I don't know if it was before. I don't know if it was before the
candy and soda, like candy and soda.
I remember when I gave up video games. I remember.
Yeah, but was it before the tournament or just before this game?
It was like before we was in a slump. I think it was two games before like the tournament. I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I remember. I remember giving up stuff though too. I remember.
Look at
he didn't give up nothing. Bibby, he didn't give up nothing.
Yeah, he didn't give up nothing.
You said me?
No, Bibby.
No, Bibby.
Oh yeah.
I ain't gonna say what he was supposed to give up, but then we saw him. And he didn't give up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jarvis Turner. Somebody talk about Jarvis.
OG. Man, Jarvis, yeah.
That's the OG right there.
he was like the heart and soul of the team to me.
Yeah,
Jarvis
because he
was
wasn't
the heart
supposed to
and
be
soul.
there. He wasn't still supposed to be there that year. I think he got an extra
he got that extra year. Yeah,
he got the extra year, but he got hurt. Exactly.
He came in.
He kind of like. You got it.
Go ahead, Sam.
I remember we were struggling. I'll never forget. We were struggling, and we was in. We had just lost a few games in a row in the Pac-10 right before the tournament was going to come around, and Jarvis had like a team meeting, and he didn't get on me because we would have had that type of team, but he was just like, Sam, you're not playing up to your ability. We're not, you better than what you plan, and and we gotta get together. So he really got us together when we was in our down moments, and I think he was. Because we didn't, we always close. We didn't have that leadership. So I think he was really like the leader, outspoken voice from the team.
He was the first guy. I remember he had missed class or something like that, and he, after or before the practice, when we were in the huddle, he apologized to everybody, and that was the first time I had seen a teammate get in the huddle and apologize and show humility for something that he did off the court or whenever. And I remember like, damn, he just got in front of all of us and said he was sorry. And that stuck with me, so that throughout the rest of my career, if I made a mistake or I felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, I always felt comfortable like getting in front of it, saying I'm sorry, apologizing, saying I'll do better. But I remember that really stood out to me as someone that did that when I became a pro,
Oh, okay. We couldn't tell you nothing without you.
No, that's what I'm saying. Later on in my career.
Crazy. Y'all remember how crazy?
Later on in my career, when I was a little more humble, then I could say I'm sorry. That was learned, yeah.
On Granville. That's his second cheap.
But I'm gonna say one thing about the tournament.
Jesus
I don't want to get
Christ.
fined on here, but the refereeing, like I've been,
Trash.
The refereeing, like I've never the next game, the Duke game. Oh my goodness! Watch out, Rick. Watch out.
You're always talking when your highlights come on. That's
right. I got something to say.
But BG, you were in foul trouble the whole time, man.
Yeah, every game I was in foul trouble, right? And so leading up to this, like the Pac-12 or the Pac-10 at that point, we always got a bad rap. Like we were soft and weren't tough.
Yep.
And so going into the tournament, I'm like, okay, we're the soft ones. That's cool. And then they called every ticky-tack foul you could ever imagine. Like, I really wasn't in foul trouble all year, ever. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I'm in foul trouble every game. So,
East Coast refs.
And like after playing against Duke, and we had already played Duke, mind you, we already played them in John Wooden.
Yeah, the year before, I think.
A year before. So we were familiar with them. They're familiar with us. But in this tournament game, like I've been played all over the world and stuff. And, I played in Russia where they would come and tell you before the game, hey, we didn't have money to pay the reps, so don't even complain today.
Mm-hmm.
They would tell you stuff like that overseas. And I've never got cheated like I got cheated in this NCAA tournament game.
They even said it. Said it. Remember? They said it. It was like, y'all just want Duke to win. And they was like, yep.
Yep. Yeah.
The ref said, yeah.
It was obvious. I mean, it was just blatantly obvious. There's a picture of me like getting hammered in the paper, and there was like no foul call.
Two of the probably 10 or so best players in SC history.
But Brandon's fouls, that was all on him. Brandon was out there hacking.
Oh yeah, I had a couple hacks. I was hacking a couple times, but a lot of them were ticky-tack though. I know how to stop hacking.
You can't touch you couldn't touch Jason Williams,
Desmond Farmer getting some run. He's part of the team now. Tell me about Des.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's like a little firecracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never knew.
He might give you 30, or he might go 0 for 10. But he gonna give you a lot of effort.
8 turnovers.
Yeah, he's gonna be wild out there. That's for sure. Especially at that time when he was young, trying to fit in, trying to find his way.
Yeah. Definitely a high energy guy though.
Yeah.
But he's gonna come with energy every time. So that's the thing.
Every time.
You're gonna get high energy. You know that if he makes his first shot, then he's going to give you the ugly face and you hype it. But he used to bring the energy off the bench. Yeah. We didn't really have that. As you see with the team, we didn't have that. Yeah. The energy to come off the bench guy. Yeah. So he was really big coming off the bench to provide a spark because we can't play 40 minutes every game. Jeff needed a break, but he really picked up the slack. When he played well. When he finally got into his rhythm and slowed down. That's all he needed to do is slow down.
Yeah, and he can score.
He never lost his confidence. He might not play 2 or 3 games, 5 minutes a game, but he's coming in and he's ready to go. He's pulling the trigger. He's not passing up any shots.
They're now doing a good job in their man-to-man defense.
That's tough. That's a tough role to play. Look, I mean, he was only in for a couple of minutes, right? And he's back on the bench, and so that's difficult. I didn't necessarily experience that in college. I played a lot right away, but I can only imagine, getting time a couple of minutes at a time and trying to get your rhythm and contribute to the team in that short period.
And the thing was Bibby, like BG said earlier, Bibby played a lot of mind games with you. And you're a kid and stuff, and you're not always prepared for these mind games, just plan-wise, getting in 2 minutes. So you always got to stay mentally sharp, mentally ready to get your time, Is that a pass?
I was trying to pass it to Jeff.
You threw it behind your head like this? Were you corner?
No, he got hit.
He got tipped.
Yeah, he got tipped.
All right, so you guys are up big at half, and you mentioned it. You were blowing BC out in the last round too, and obviously they come all the way back. We know what's going to happen here. Kentucky's going to come back, but what were your conversations like at halftime?
Well, I don't know that we had any. It was just keep the same thing going. We didn't. It wasn't something that came unexpectedly. We were. We expected to win the game. We expected to play well, and so when we did, it was kind of business as usual.
Yeah, we just knew we had to hold the lead.
And we exactly. And we kind of got them playing at our pace. You see, we got them scrambling. They're not doing the things they're comfortable. They just want to play everything through Tayshaun Prince. You haven't seen him really get into the game and everything. But it's a tournament, and you got to play every. Oh, big Rear.
That was a nice pass.
That was beautiful pass. But look at Bibby's out of bounds plays. We got some great out of bounds plays.
Yeah, that was our
this guy right here was the
fake
strongest guy
pick and
ever
roll
played
slip.
in my life.
I know he was. He was a beast.
And Dave didn't want to guard him. He made me guard him the whole game. Dave got ready. Nobody wanted any part of the part. Dave was like, no, you got to stand. You're strong.
Yeah, he put you in the box.
Yeah, he was way too strong. I ain't gonna lie, he was too strong. I think about him to this day. I'm like, that dude from Kentucky was strong.
McGlure?
No, Parker.
It's like Parker. Yeah.
Oh, Parker. Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't one of them. Yeah, he was too strong.
Yeah.
Close the door.
But Jim, when you score, you can get into the press. Sooner or later.
You know what? Another thing,
I
think we should have kept. I think we got too comfortable in just trying to hold the lead, right? And instead of continuing to attack and not worrying about the score, just subconsciously, I think that's kind of how you play. David didn't care though; he's pulling the trigger every time he was open. So he was the one guy that was actually doing the right thing in that situation.
Playing the win.
Yeah.
But you see, Kentucky just came out, got 3 offensive rebounds in a row. They came out with more energy than we got, So they're playing like their backs against the wall. And we're playing like we up 20.
Yeah. Doing the job right now.
How much press break did you guys run after the BC game?
Nobody underneath the basket. Ball loose.
We really only had one ball handler.
That was really the issue. That was really the issue.
Give it to Brandon and get out the way. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, we had some press. We had press breaks, but I always had to go back and get the ball, and that made it tough because it expended a lot of energy. But on top of that, defenses knew that our offense ran through me, at least to initiate it.
Yeah. I know they think he was about to come down there again. I gave him one. I gave him one. I gave him one leg. He wasn't coming to get another one. That's the whole thing. I would take offense if somebody scored on me in the post. If you in the post, this dude got his chest in your, got his shoulder in your chest, and everybody's watching. If he scored on me, I felt like, I was like punking me kind of. I was like, nah, you can't do that.
That didn't even look like a foul.
It wasn't.
It's all. Calls.
Yeah, there's the one-man press break.
Yep. Not too bad. You got that one? There we go. That's nice. Way to hold
All right.
through. Way to hold the follow through.
Hold the follow through.
David, you were slumping going into this game? Because you shot the heck out of it.
I don't remember. I think I played well in the first 2 games. I think we all played fairly well. I don't recall the last part of the season.
You didn't play well. I think the game before this, because you were upset about it.
I was, yeah.
That's a bad play.
Well, the last game of the Pac-12, we lost to. What did we do? I forgot how we finished the Pac-12, the Pac-10. If there was no tournament this year,
we won the last game, Washington State, but we had lost at 5 and 2 in a row before that. But we ended up closing out. I'll never forget. Hey, my basketball memory is very bad. I'm not gonna lie, but there's a few things I remember.
So you can you close your eyes and put yourself on this court? Remember, visualize it, remember what it was like?
Why is he down inside challenging a guy like Parker for a rebound? He's got to be much more
I'm shaking my head about these fouls.
Still mad about the refs 20 years later.
Yeah. No, that was a foul. That one was a foul. I tried to get in there and help my bigs out trying to get a rebound. But...
I remember clearly the basketballs were new. That was a big thing. Is we had never played with such brand new basketballs that were leather and they were all slippery. And we were we're supposed to get used to these,
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were all really pumped up.
Yeah, it was terrible.
They were terrible.
They stopped doing that a couple years later.
The tournament for me was just one big blur because you come all the way from here. We went over to Philly. Then we're just there the whole time, 2 weeks.
The whole time.
Playing, and we're just away from here. And it was just so we were just really, for me, it was just really in the moment, just playing. Because we were in our thing. All we can do is watch film, go to the hotel, go play, go to practice. We can't do nothing else,
That was it.
I don't remember doing homework, much homework.
Homework? What are you talking about?
I feel like we were walking around
What is this homework you speak of?
Are you talking about just during the tournament, or are you talking about?
I'm talking about just during the tournament. I feel like we were just so everything was about the tournament. And everybody was cool with that. They were do it,
We had a pass for the tournament.
Did you see that foul?
You got a pass.
Come on, man. That's ridiculous. Okay. I know, but that's ridiculous.
Jeff used to fly though. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never seen nobody with no bounce like Jeff. I'll never forget that even my freshman year, the craziest dunk, the one in Wyoming that he caught. You remember that one? Oh,
that was crazy.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
I look like Jeff hating on my bucket.
That defense was bad though.
Yeah, offensive interference.
It was bouncing around the rim too much, man.
Come on, man. It was dropping.
Jeff, you got to get you've got old tapes. You got to get some stuff on YouTube, man. You would
I know, man.
I would love to see some Jeff highlights, college highlights.
His dunk contest is on there.
Dunk contest.
Isn't your dunk contest on there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He did the windmill with the arm in the rim.
Yep. Yeah, I got a lot of
tapes. Be playing those on
ESPN
every once in a while.
Does it?
I think I've seen the dunk. They played the college dunk contest with ESPN 3 and stuff every once in a while. Hutch came big for us. Hutch, he played big in this tournament for us. He had some big free throws for us. Came in. Brandon needed a breather.
Oklahoma State.
The press. He played really big.
Yeah,
Jeff. Jacked up.
Hype.
Look at this.
Oof.
But when you play a team and you on a court and you just know they can't beat us.
Yeah.
That's how we felt like. Yeah. I felt like that even with Duke. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to say why we lost the game, but they couldn't beat us.
Without the refs, they couldn't beat us.
Yeah, they couldn't believe this. And we made some bad adjustments at halftime, but they couldn't beat us.
That's the foul on Parker.
Duke, UCLA, Kentucky.
I think there was a lot to be said about. Jeff was already there; he was a freshman, but the other 4 starters, we all came in together, and so our freshman and sophomore years, we took our lumps, and we were playing Stanford. They were the #1 team in the country, and Arizona being in the top 5. And Jason Terry and Barron and, Mark Madsen and all those guys. So, by the time we got to our junior year, and we actually started rolling at the end of our sophomore year, and I think Sam got hurt and Jarvis got hurt. And so that really derailed us. But coming to our junior year, I think there were a lot of expectations outside of our basketball team. But with us, we felt like, this was a go this year. It was, all hands on deck.
Yeah.
And we were all close, like, off the court, too. Like, everybody was close. We used to hang out all the time. And, I even talked with I still talk with the guys now and stuff. And it just adds for the, the chemistry and stuff,
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
And we hung out all the time.
Even the guys on the bench, they weren't. I feel like they were never upset, like with their role. They were so just excited to be part of the team, and when they did get their chance, they came in. I can't remember too many disgruntled guys on the team, and everybody worked hard.
Dez was upset.
He was mad. Dez wanted to start.
You were upset your freshman year.
Freshman year.
You was mad too. You was mad.
Yeah, Dave was mad his freshman year. He didn't understand.
I do, yeah.
Pops got involved, all of that.
Well, maybe I feel like it's the guys on this team, like Tyler. Tyler was a mature guy. Jarvis was a mature guy. Dez was, energy. Hutch was a mature guy. Gennaro, so we had mature guys that it's not that they weren't hungry and they didn't want to play, but they weren't like trying to bring the team down, and off the court they were still down to hang out and not like turn their backs on the guys that played more minutes.
Yeah,
But I remember Bibby in the beginning making us do like, not saying like, but making us having to go to even Magic Mountain together or having to do like chemistry bond and stuff that you think like, oh, I don't want to do this at the time, but now looking back on it, like some of this stuff it helps.
Yeah.
And it was easier for us. I feel like I don't know what these kids now with. I don't know. I always trying to think like, man, what if I had like social media at this time? Like I would have followers up. I get my followers up. I don't know.
I'm glad we didn't have social media.
It would have been different. That's for sure.
3-point game.
Yeah, they're back all the way.
Yeah, all the way back.
That's buckets right there.
But we didn't panic. It wasn't like, oh.
Yeah, we didn't panic.
We weren't, weren't concerned. It wasn't. Even though I'm not in the game.
For me, it was like, okay, finally. Oh, okay. Y'all finally want to play? All right, welcome to the game now. All right.
Right.
Exactly.
We in the tournament now. Y'all down 25 points. Like y'all was contesting.
He caught fire a little bit, huh?
He did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 2-point game.
Yeah, 5 threes.
Yep. Circumstances.
Oh wow!
As the leader of this Kentucky offense, but really doing the job tonight. It's been more severe than trying. It has been brutal.
What do you like on the bench right now, Brandon? Must be killing you.
Yeah, it's tough. You're just trying to stay calm and get your rest. Like I wasn't over there a lot, so
yeah.
When I was, I knew it was gonna be short lived, so I didn't do a lot of getting up and hoorahing. I tried to get my energy back and rest as much as possible. But this is a tournament, so I if my recollection serves me correctly, I started waving that towel. Yeah, I'm up right now. So there it is.
Double pump jumper there, Sam.
Yeah,
I was going to jam
right there. I didn't want to mess with that
baseline.
That's going up on that baseline. You can take that to the bank.
Double pump jumper.
There you go. We're in the tournament, right? We're trying to get that Elite Eight. But I think that was a shot we would give him. We'll give him
we was giving him that shot.
You got to make one, man. We ain't going out there. Keep bogging.
1-point game.
We see Scalabrini. He's so unselfish. He really has. He's turning down shots. I think he could probably shoot.
Yeah.
Even But I think sometimes he got into his head. Sometimes, honestly, he would overthink the game because he's a thinker. So he would overthink the game sometimes instead of just playing.
No, he definitely did.
Big shot, Blue.
Yeah. 4.
I don't know why you're trying to go with Park. Is that a foul on me?
Yeah, that was some BS.
Look, cuss the ref out. Yeah, let him know.
Let him know.
I'll tell him, if the ref calls a bad, if you're a ref and you call a bad call, then you should allow the player to say something back within a certain, frame point, and then take it away. You know what I'm saying?
And for the
like,
record,
that's a bad call.
Sam, you was barred from your freshman year too.
Huh?
I said you came in barred from your freshman
Ball.
year.
I'm bald since like 12 years old. I'm bald since like 12 years old.
Not only are they scoring, which is the obvious, but what it does, it then allows them to set up that pressure defense. And it really took SC out of their offensive structure. And a matter of fact, the only way they're getting it back, and there's a
Ryan was guarding Saul Smith.
But what SC is going to put Granville back in the game. Hutchinson gave him some solid minutes as Granville had to sit with those 4 fouls. But Hutchinson did a pretty good job.
You guys watch a lot of tape at this point? Like in 2001, were you watching a lot of film before a game like this? Or were you more focused just on what Bibby was telling you what the game plan was?
So Granville back with
We watch film.
Yeah,
We watch a good amount of film.
Yeah,
Bibby
we had
really
a lot
liked to
of
watch
scouting
film.
reports too.
Yeah. We were always well prepared.
And they used to quiz us too, like, you had to know, like I had to know the guards. So they'd be like, Sam, what is this guard like? They were like, I'm not guarding him. Why I even need to know that? But they would make sure that you knew everything. So I feel like we was always, over prepared in the situation.
Hey Sam, that was a terrible shot too.
It was awful shot, but that was a heat check, though. That was a heat check.
Heat check after the double pump.
After the double pump, another one on the baseline.
Brandon, you playing 640? Oh, good find.
That was nice.
Got him.
What's that, Jordan?
You're playing. You got what? 640 left with 4 fouls. Change the way you play it all.
Yeah, you see, I'm trying to keep my hands up on defense and try to, just try to get in the way, get my body in the way. But other than that, I'm trying to stay in the game. Pretty simple.
For me, the biggest thing with the refs is just the inconsistency, If they're going to call it one way, call it that one way the whole game. If you're going to call it another way, call it, so the players can adjust throughout the game, Don't call this, not call that. And, that's the whole thing with refereeing.
But remember, the referees in college, I think when you get to the tournament, they're all from all over the place. So they come from different styles of basketball. So they're trying to figure out the players and how they play too. So it can be challenging, but keep it consistent.
I think that goes to my point from earlier. I thought the game would get more physical being in a tournament because kind of our reputation in the Pac-10 was as a soft conference. So anyway,
it was a lot of disrespect. I'm not gonna lie. That was your fifth right there, BG. Oh, they let you get away with that one. Man, or he flopped. That was a flop or what?
That was a flop.
I'm way behind you guys. That was a flop. I'm a couple seconds behind you.
That was a flop. That was a thing.
Tried to get your boy out of there, didn't he?
Heck yeah.
They did. He did.
Hey, Blue, you like shooting better from the left side of the court, or was it just that's what was
wherever? I just like shooting wherever. I shot enough,
he
practice
didn't
enough.
He didn't care.
Anywhere really. I like those angles though. I felt like there was more room to move. Like you didn't have to worry about your feet that you got to worry about on like the corners.
Yeah.
You could just see the line and shoot it from wherever you are out there in the front.
And that's kind of where you ended up in our kind of our fast break offense. You were always on the left because that was where the 3 was, right? Jeff
That's right. We did. That's right.
One thing I would say about Dave is he turned himself into a shooter. Because he came in, he wasn't really known as a shooter, but he would be like, man, I want to be a shooter. I love shooting. I love Reggie Miller. I remember, the conversation.
We had that gun. We got that shooting machine.
His gun, and then and he really worked and really developed into one of the best shooters.
But you know what, Jeff? David could shoot it in high school.
I was a decent shooter.
Yeah, you shot it in high school too. So I mean, it wasn't. Yeah. It didn't come out of nowhere. But he, Dave always had he always envisioned himself as a
position.
So
it was the position. In high school, I was always the tallest guy, and then when I got to college, I got to be physically more on the perimeter, so there's more opportunity to shoot.
Give me that, man. Ain't none of that. Dave, I got your back, man. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay.
Down there. I ain't gonna let none of that go.
Yeah.
Everybody's back. All that down there. Ain't none of that going on.
Where are you guys in terms of time? Because I think I'm way off.
5:08. We have 5:05 right now.
Oh, 5:05.
Yep. 5 minutes to go in the game. 62-68.
That was a terrible. I gotta chill out.
Nice pass.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, that's
Nice.
Where you got that from? Here? Where you got that from?
You're welcome.
Well, Brandon, I really think Jeff's one of the more unique players I've ever seen. As a point guard, did you sort of have to get used to that you just had this wing that basically you could throw an alley-oop to at any point? Because you threw so many pops.
Absolutely not. That was easy. I was used to throwing alley-oops to guys that couldn't jump. And so with Jeff, with Jeff, it was just throw it anywhere. That doesn't take an adjustment. I could really literally put it anywhere, and he would go get it. I tried to throw one to Dave. That was different.
I might have to come down with it and then try to figure something out. Do that.
That's big. That's big right there.
That's where I threw it today, right there.
Yeah.
That's what being a good point guard is all about. You got to know where to play the ball where they needed it.
Yeah.
But I think as far as I know, Biddy was your guy, but as far as the point guard, it's definitely the hardest. I remember it's definitely the hardest positions on the court because you got to press up, then you got to get back, be the first one back. Then you got to, he was mad if you had somebody else in the wrong position.
Yeah.
So I always feel for the point guard.
I got blamed for everything. That's why I had to drip. That's why
I think it was because Coach Bibby was a point guard, so he had so much, and the way he played, he expected that from you, Brandon, and it was like that's he was in his own right a great player and just a hustling type of player.
Look at Brandon trying to fight.
Brandon, 16.
He tried
to punch off Smith.
Nah, he kind of grabbing me a little too tough, man. He fouled me off.
Man, they came back.
For complete tournament coverage, go to CBS.Sports.
I was out the game, so that wasn't on me.
2 point guards are each saddled with 4.
So he's a coach now? What's the prize? He's not a coach now. Remember the dude?
He did. He was on the staff for a little bit.
He was,
He was on Kentucky staff for a second.
I'm about to say, no, the coach is coming.
Jim, I'm going to give Hutchison a lot of credit, too. While Granville was down, he got his
Come on, BG.
But we got it back to 9 now.
trying to go one-on-one.
Man.
Lose their composure. Parker, nice move. Very aggressive move to the hole.
I had to take a break there. Let me go out here and guard Tayshaun, man.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to punch it on you. I thought he was going to punch it on you. Sam, come on, man. What's going on? What's going on, man? What is going on? I hated that 5-second count. I can't believe they don't have that anymore.
There's no more 5 seconds?
No more 5 seconds when you're dribbling.
I remember.
That's an actual rule that's no longer exists?
Doesn't exist. I would have loved that.
In which league? In college?
In college. Yeah, in college.
Wait a second. They're saying that the ball.
So you can dribble the ball for more than 5 seconds in college?
You can dribble it all day.
And the officials are going to
What's the shot clock now in college? 30?
30.
We'll see the shot coming down. That ball hit the rim.
They tried to cheat us out of this one.
Yeah.
They hit the rim. That was easy. They hit the rim and went to the ring.
The officials meet at midcourt. Timeout on the floor. We'll be right back.
They wanted Kentucky and Duke so bad because that was so much money for the NCAA.
Yeah.
We kids, so we don't think about the money now. You'd be like, oh, they missed out a lot of money on that one.
Wow.
Sorry.
What really hurt SC, the ball, you'll see it right here. See the rotation of the ball? It hits the rim.
At least that's how we felt.
That's how it is. We in the game, They wasn't like that. They wasn't reffing like that at Boston College.
They were with me. I was in foul trouble that game too.
Because you was ahead of the snake. Did they get you out? We ain't got nobody. You ain't got nobody. It's a wrap.
Parker needs the touch. There he is. Parker spin move. Luthenthal was holding him. And that could be an intentional win.
They're going to get mad at you here, David.
Yeah. Don't foul.
David, they're trying to dance. Grabbed him by the waist.
And by this time, I was tired. I had already fought with him the whole game, so I was like, man, I can't. I got no more. I can't do it no more down there. I was exhausted.
That dude was big.
That up too.
No, but you tried to foul him on purpose. You tried to foul him on purpose because he shot like 30% from the free throw line, didn't he?
He did.
Oh, but they called it intentional.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I wrapped him.
Yeah. But we were trying to foul him on purpose. Because he couldn't shoot free throws at all.
How about that point guard memory? Brandon knows what this dude was shooting free throws 20 years ago. That's pretty good, BB.
Yeah.
5 times. A guy playing in the low post. He really needs to work on that free throw shooting.
Kentucky's made only 4 of 10 as
Got to been a turnover, without the intentional foul.
Yeah.
You dunked on me like that?
Oh.
Well, he doesn't make fouls, but he can make a dunk.
He's not going to miss those.
Yeah.
So under 2 to play. It's a 5-point game.
But we played our game. We stayed calm. We didn't really get lose our composure and stuff, which you can do easily in a tournament. That's what it's all about. Really just keeping your composure and playing your game.
I think that comes from all the battles we went through, right? And during the year in the conference, we were in a lot of tough games. We were in a lot of tough battles because the Pac-10 at that point was a really, one of the best conferences in the country for sure.
Exactly. And every team was tough too. Even every team was tough.
Every team was tough.
Except like Oregon State. They was trash.
They was. Washington State was trash too.
Hey, it was hard to play at Washington State.
It was hard to play at Washington State though.
Man.
Jeff, why don't you tell them what happened at Arizona State? Obviously.
What happened? I don't remember that. I wish we had that tape.
But
punk tape. The punk tape.
The punk tape. But this is all going to come down to, I know SC team now. I was talking with Desmond. I was talking with Desmond yesterday.
Free throws.
I was telling them it's all free throws. And the games are free throws. It's going to come down to free throws. Don't matter what you do. Don't matter nothing else. It's going to come down to 1-2 possessions of free throws at the end of the game. And who makes the free throws is going to go. Then he writes, what you got? Nothing. Block shot.
Oh. Good D. Oh, we got a rebound there. Oh, good.
Good rebound. Good rebound, Dave.
This is clean.
And me and Jeff,
that wasn't no foul either.
No, watch this replay, Jeff. This is clean as can be. They call a couple of these late where if they just let one go, this game's over, and they kept sending them to the line, keeping them in it.
Boy, they sure did.
On purpose.
I was always competing with Jeff for block shots. We trying to run the break to get the dunk from BG. We went every time.
Hey, there they go.
Oh, stars.
Second free throw made.
Saul Smith has to be careful. Remember, he has 4 fouls on him, so the 2 point guards going head to head. Both have.
But we look at our offense. This is pro-style offense sets.
Yeah.
We had 1 million sets.
Yeah, we had sets. We didn't run in motion. We tried to run motion a couple of years before that. That didn't work.
We had sets.
Yeah, we did. That's interesting.
And then sometimes he'd be like, what am I supposed to do? All right, just stand over here.
Ooh.
Hey, I knew he was about to dunk that. I was not about to try to jump at that one.
Ooh.
I knew I wasn't going to foul out.
But we still control the game. We up 3 with 42 to go.
Oh, I had a turnover in here somewhere. I tried to split a double team or something. Yep. Woo! That was a bad one right there, boy.
You remember that?
I remember that one.
The worst part about taking the ball.
This might be it. This might be it. This might be it right here.
Oh, no.
Give me that. Don't worry, I'm going to clean it to the top.
Oh, wow. We got to follow up. Oh.
That's the worst. You turn it over right there and then get a timeout after. Oh, my God.
Look at Bibby in your ear.
Yeah, you don't want that timeout. You don't want that timeout after that.
Getting on him.
You can tell the tournament is rough. Ain't nobody got a haircut, nothing.
5:38 to go. 10 to Stanford. 12 down to
But Dave
I'm
always
clean.
curls.
I got a line, though.
Curls clean. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah. At my long sideburns.
Wow, come on, man.
It really is. And boy, did SC get lucky.
Dave wanted the free throws.
Yeah.
That's
you gotta want them. That's how you make them. You gotta want them.
Man,
what's the record, Dave? What record? You got the Pac?
No, I had the record, and then Ryan Mendez 2 weeks later beat the record. I had the most records in a row. I had free throws records in a row, and then 2 weeks later, Ryan Mendez.
How many did you have? I think I almost had you at one point. And then I missed,
it was 30 something, wasn't it?
No, it was like 41 or something like that. And then Ryan Mendez got like to 52.
He'll shoot 2.
Dave used to always try to come back. Never came back for the ball to dribble it up court, but at the end of the game,
yeah.
Right there.
He'd be right next to me. I tell you.
I know my role. I ain't gonna try to bring the ball up the court. I can make free throws though.
Yeah, but Bibby, I don't know if Jeff and Sam knew this, but Bibby used to always tell me and Dave, like he'd call us over there, like, go get the ball.
Yeah,
we knew.
With his eyes getting big like that, go get the ball, man.
You know the free throws. The people who can't shoot free throws, what we doing? We running away from the ball. You see, I ain't taking it out. I'm a half court guy. I don't want no parts of that.
Scalabrini's a big man back there.
It's amazing because you're watching these games and you know what you're feeling at the time. You know.
You still got plenty of time with that press.
Possession right here.
Have to take a panic three.
The triple stick switch. Yep, we did, but we messed it up.
You just switch everything. Look, switch that out.
We switched everything. Yeah.
Good.
Everything.
Oh.
But you saw we protected the paint so well. Like everything, every time they get in, there's 3 people there.
And you were saying earlier, it was kind of a modern team in the sense that you could switch, pretty much 2 through 5.
Yeah.
But your bigs are so mobile.
Yeah. I mean, I even switched really, especially in this defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Sam and Brian had the ability to guard people out on the perimeter, which is really valuable in the NBA now, right? Guards, big guys stepping out, being able to guard on the pick and roll. So that was something we did 20 years ago.
What do you want to do on this inbounds pass?
We played a lot of one-on-one, like after practice and stuff, and we would play on the perimeter. So I don't know how many kids these days play one-on-one. Oh, king of the court, things like that.
It wasn't a lot of competition, but every practice, Billy made an effort to make it that we competed. So every drill we did, like there had to be a winner and a loser. We competed amongst each other, just to get better. It wasn't like trying to. Well, again, everybody wants to get better. That's always the goal.
Yeah,
you always want to win.
Because you want Blumenthal to touch the ball on this play.
But like you said, what made it good for me is everybody knew their role. You know, nobody was like mad at me that I took this many shots, or even if I jacked up a bad shot, nobody came like, Sam, pass me the ball. I was open here. Mm-hmm. It was none of that on our team. If you think about it, like it was none of that.
We had a little bit
here. I was open. It was all just all right.
We had a little bit of that with Dave. Dave would get the jacket a little bit.
That was you and Dave. I'm talking about y'all two.
But the coach gave me the green light.
You're the point guard, so you got to hear it from everybody. But you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't hearing none of that.
Coach gave me the green light.
Get the school started. He gave him the lamp to build.
We know Dave was trying to get him up.
Right. Get him to pay for that scholarship. Well, now he's trying to.
Well, that was my role.
USC.
They got like 28 points on 3 dribbles. Clay Thompson.
Yeah, right. King of the court. That's what you play. 2 dribble max. That's all you need. If you ain't got 2 dribbles, kick it.
It's a 3-point shot. Let a guy drive all the way to the basket. Kind of what happened to BC. Let him have the shot. Smith drives in and a foul.
Another one. This is the other one.
They calling everything.
That was I remember that. That was all ball.
It's all ball. You would have had a dunk at the other end to celebrate, end it, dribble up the clock.
All you're trying to do here is let the clock
watch
work
this
for you.
replay.
If you're SC, do not foul under.
But they really was disrespected. Oh, that's all ball.
All ball.
Wow.
And a steal leader for SC.
I mean, but honestly, we was probably the most disrespected team of this tournament. As far as our living situations with the hotels and stuff that we had going on. As far as with Nike didn't want to give us no shoes to play in. Teams was just dogging us like we was just going to get ran out the gym. So we had really a chip on our shoulder, like Dave said earlier.
Yeah.
And part of that was Bibby creating that chip, right? I mean, I remember him getting into a press conference. We were all behind stage, and they were talking about how athletic our team was, and he said nobody can touch the rim, I think, except Jeff and Sam. So he was always kind of challenging us in that way, even in the media, and he broke us down to build us back up. But I think that's something that worked for us.
Exactly. I remember getting into it. Me and Brandon always. Baby would always challenge, saying that we wasn't leaders on the team in the paper. Then he would blast us, and then we had to go back and then blast him, or we was, But it got to a certain point that once we got after this, it was all we all knew we had to do.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even much that had to be said.
That's ball game.
I missed the second one.
Now that you remember?
I remember that because I was like, "Oh yeah, we got this. We got this." The first one was short.
Dave remembers all his shots.
He does.
I do, even as a pro, man. I'm fading back. Oh no, that rattled in and out.
Prince with 1 second, no foul, and USC
That's up to the last shot. Nothing easy here. We can test the last shot. Nothing easy.
That was great.
Look at Bill.
Woo!
Bill getting that bonus. That's why he happy.
I never forget. This is before 9/11. So this is before 9/11.
Yeah.
So when we came back to LAX, we were met by like thousands.
It was packed.
On right there as soon as you get off
in the terminal.
In the terminal. So it was the shock. That was the last time that.
But that was another thing. We didn't come back on that week in between, and so we didn't really understand or grasp what was happening in Los Angeles and how big it was for the people that supported USC. We didn't have a feel for it until we got back after the tournament was over.
Yep.
And for the next several days and weeks, everywhere we went, it was like, wow, great job, and it was really special.
It was big time. It was big time.
Well, honestly, for the rest of my life, this tournament changed the rest of my life. Going to this tournament, going on this stage, it changed my trajectory at USC. It changed the rest of my life.
20 years later, does it feel like 20 years? Feel like yesterday? What's it feel like?
It definitely don't feel like 20 years.
It doesn't feel like yesterday either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a couple months.
Who are these young guys?
A couple months. A couple months ago.
The Trojans advance.
But look, there's no really big celebrations. Look at us. Look at this. It's no jumping around like we weren't expecting to be there. It's a few cheering, clapping. All right, dude. That's what it was all about. It wasn't. It was like we were supposed to be here because we was taught that. Like Bibby had instilled that in us. We supposed to be here. We belong.
Yeah.
Well, it was the greatest run really in the modern history of this program. Hopefully, this team this year can match you guys 20 years later. But awesome watching with you guys, catching up with you guys. I know to this day how many fans all of you had and still have. So hopefully we'll get you back to the Galen Center soon and celebrate it properly. I know that there was probably going to be a big celebration this year and COVID shut all that down. But hopefully sometime soon we can get you all back out there. But appreciate you joining us for this rewatch.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, gentlemen. Fight on.
Fight on, baby.